Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reason Speak. Did anybody hear anything?
No, I didn't hear anything. I just watched it.
Okay,
No.
I forgot to do the audio thing. I'm going to play it. No,
do it
hell
again.
no. Yes, it's only a little short thing.
I heard nothing.
Okay, here it comes. I'm sorry.
I heard it.
Technical issues. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reason Speak. Did anybody hear anything? Oh my God!
No, I didn't hear
I'm
anything.
overplaying myself.
I watched
Technical issues. That was it.
Very nice, Sid.
I was
Oh, okay. Technical issues are solved.
I disagree with you, and I am hearing nothing.
I'll play it again at the end.
No, I've seen better artwork from Beavis and Butthead.
No.
Yes.
I appreciate the young man's efforts.
It's not for the artwork. It's for the intro and the outro. So before the well, actually, let me just introduce who we have here today. The usual crowd. Firstly, we have from Australia, from Brisbane. Good morning, Damien. Can you hear me?
Mate.
G'day, mate. Damien's on.
My cracky, mate.
Damien's on his 5th pot of coffee, I think, and it's not even 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
And,
Okay.
And it's
From Brisbane.
only my 5th coffee.
5th coffee. Awesome. Okay, so from Brisbane, we're going to jump on over to Haifa, Tel Aviv, and say hi to Nathaniel.
G'day, mate.
Clone.
G'day, mate. How are you there in Israel?
I'm all right.
That's good. Okay, so how the skies looking today? Bomb-free? Missile-free?
I haven't seen a bomb and I haven't seen a missile in almost a year now.
He doesn't take his gas mask off yet.
Excellent. Okay, then we jump over to Austin, Texas.
All right.
Hey,
Live
Banto.
music capital of the world.
Banto's from, I don't know if you're born in Texas, but you certainly live in Texas.
I live in Texas now.
Yeah,
I was born in Lincoln, Nebraska, right off the reservation.
Sorry, what Nebraska?
I was born in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Nebraska. I've been there twice. I know it well. Well, not well.
Gigantic Muslim population of Indians, Sioux.
What? Say it again. Indians.
Anyway, no, now I'm now here in Texas. Got here as fast as I could.
Okay, you got off the reservation, now you're in Texas. Fair enough.
Right.
Okay. Today we are talking about a couple of things. We have had a request from the crowd to talk about feminism and Hulk Hogan.
Bloody plebes. Why would we want to do what they want
That's
to do?
a bit of racism mixed in there, too, if I recall it correctly.
Actually, no, it was two different people, two different suggestions. I made it racist.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Well, you've done well then, my friend.
You want to nutshell the story on Hulk Hogan, or you want me to?
Oh, we can start off with Hulk Hogan because I don't know the story, but you go ahead.
Okay, Hulk Hogan, a former very famous pro wrestler, he was the epitome of, childhood. Growing up, wrestling wasn't about boobs, fake tits and ass. It was about, heroes, right? And Hulk Hogan was one of these heroes, right? And then he fell out of favor, as he aged. And what happened is lately he met a radio personality, some Clem or something, and then had a sexual encounter with his wife. The guys videotaped it, right? And apparently during this sexual encounter with the guy's wife, he did several racial epithets. Is that what we're talking about? That's what I read about it in the news.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So anyway, just to come on history, of course, isn't, despite being a sexual tape, isn't it supposed to be a private affair?
Yeah, it was Gawker that released it, I believe.
Right, but...
Well, Gawker released a tape of him having sex. And
right.
He sued them to take it down. They said no, so he sued them. for, I think it's $100 million. It's in the courts right now, and so they released a tape of an excerpt of the tape where he's using racial epithets.
Hulk Hogan's not a very smart man. Would we agree? I mean,
He's
if
an
somebody
idiot.
had something like that, why would you subject it to discovery?
Okay, I got a question. I have one question. Okay, having sex being videotaped. Okay, I got it. You know, or whatever, right? Now,
Right.
sex stops, videotape stops. How the hell does that get to Gawker? How does it get anywhere from where it is? Does it have to be
That's a very good
uploaded to?
question.
Does it have to be connected to the internet somehow and uploaded willingly for it to get to Gawker, for it to become the scandal that it has become?
One would
anybody-
imagine that it was sold to Gawker by the people that filmed it.
Okay, so that's how
Some
it
of
is. Well,
these-
it's nefariously.
Some
from
of
the
these
source.
get out. Some of these tapes get out because the computer they were sitting on was hacked as well.
Yeah.
So you got that as well.
an
Ah,
alibi.
Jennifer Lawrence didn't release, her pictures of herself nude. Her account was hacked, as would a lot of other accounts.
Plausibility.
Jennifer Lawrence.
I'd say, huh?
Who's Jennifer Lawrence?
Oh,
You
God,
gotta be
Sid.
kidding me. Yeah, you're such an old guy. Never
Sid,
mind.
she's an actress.
I'm 44 and I know who the fuck Jennifer Lawrence is.
Well, that's because you're just still in diapers, dude.
Yeah, I know. Compared to you, old man.
I've been trying to sell that RuPaul sex tape we had, but no luck yet.
I don't think anybody knows who RuPaul is anymore.
I know RuPaul. RuPaul's a drag queen, right?
you see, there you go. Sid knows all the oldies.
Sid knows the tranny.
Anything after 1990, I know nothing.
Anyway, look, sex tapes, I mean, my computer was hacked or my iPhone was hacked. Those are just plausibility. Those are just alibis. They supply these
Okay.
to boost their fame quotient. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure about that. Anybody got anything to say about feminism? To laugh? Anything laughable?
Oh, I
this
think
week in the feminist world.
I think just the word itself is laughable.
more feminists should have sex tapes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like
how-
that
should we,
feminist that dragged the mattress around. They made a sex tape. That was
Who?
yeah.
What? Huh? What? Huh?
That feminist that dragged a mattress around their college campus and then turned around and made a sex tape.
Yeah. Her allegation apparently was completely false, and she wanted to make a point of it not being.
Fill me in. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, you really don't know enough to make any commentary about that.
That's why I have you guys here.
Don't tell us what we know, Nathaniel. Just tell us the story, because I want to hear it.
She made a rape allegation against somebody, and it was investigated by the campus and by the police, and it was turned out not
Discredited?
To be, yes, it was discredited. Turned out not to be basically not to be true, a lie, and so she rejected the findings, and she decided to protest them by carrying a mattress around with her everywhere she went. But I believe she also had some sort of injunction against the guy afterwards, or during that time, essentially, that he was hounded off campus because of it, and he essentially was persecuted out of being on campus, essentially, because of.
So
That's what I'm not completely up to date on this. I mean, it just. To be quite honest, with the amount of crazy stories about feminism that there are, this actually, even though it made a lot of news, it seemed to be one of the lesser crazy ones out there.
Now, let me ask you this, Nathaniel. Is that fair play, what happened to the dude, or not?
Well, he didn't do anything, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if he had done something, then I would suggest, legal recourse. Look, I'm not saying I don't even know if he was guilty or not. The point is that they investigated it, both the university and the police, and they decided no, there's nothing to this story. Now, I tend to side with victims, but in this case, I think that it's clear that something was amiss. I don't see how you can make a case for her at this point. You know, she could sue him or something in civil court, but you know, it's
From what I understand, the sex tape she made was supposed to be a reenactment of what actually happened, and it was all consensual. Other than to say that maybe halfway through or sometime during the act of sex, she
Change her mind.
or I don't even think she so much changed her mind. I think if I understood the story correctly, is he started doing things to her on a sexual basis that she didn't like. Now that's not to say that she said she didn't like it, because we don't know. But
right.
That's what I get out of it. That's why I understood the story. So it wasn't rape in any real sense. It was just, oh, I didn't like that.
No, but here's my thing. Well, I look, here's the thing. I think that a lot of this, the thing that I'm kind of against right now is this her accusation is essentially that there's a rape culture, okay? And I completely reject that allegation. Completely
reject that allegation.
Yes, completely. 100%. I cannot say it enough. Completely.
After we have account after account of rapes on campus.
I reject that as well. I'm sorry. Look, let me put it to you this way. If I were to believe those accounts, then the rape percentage on campus actually rivals rape in the Congo, where during this war since 15 years, rape is actually used as a weapon of war. So for me to believe that those statistics, those numbers are correct, I would have to actually believe that the conditions on U.S. campuses are literally worse than the conditions in a fucking war zone, in one of the worst war zones in the entire world. I am not willing to believe such nonsense without some clear, solid evidence. I'm sorry.
Okay, I do believe that there is significant rape on college campuses, because I always hear that every college campus that has a major D1 school that has a program has problems. They're always trying to like make sure the players can play the game instead of getting going to jail. I mean, back when I went to college, I heard that many a time. So I do believe there are problems with rape on college campuses.
I've never said that there's no rape on college campuses at all. I'm just saying that I do not believe that the rates that we are given, the 1 out of every 4 people. Look, again, you're asking me to believe that the conditions on campuses in the United States are worse than the conditions in the Congo, where there is no law, where there are literally only tribes killing each other and raping each other as a weapon of war. I'm sorry, I do not think that the majority of the males on campus even come close to approximating this number. I
agree, but I do believe that there is a problem with because look at that problem what's it called, the Steubenville rape that happened last year or 2 years ago, right? Where those guys videotaped it.
Right. I'm not saying that there is not rape on campus or in society in general. Every rape is a problem to me. But the rates, there is no rape culture. There is no, you'll find isolated cases where, certain frats, etc., will be like, oh, that's so cool, etc.
Notorious.
But the fact is that this is not common everyday occurrence. It just isn't. And society. That society does not accept it. You go to jail for it. If you are found guilty of rape, you go to jail. There's no two ways about it. There's no judge saying, it's just boys being boys. That's the accusation.
That came to mind, like the amount of prison rape that we have. I mean, that's just accepted. So there's like levels of rape that a society does accept.
But that's prison. Prison falls outside of society. I think that's a problem itself, but that is not actually a problem in society itself. I would say.
And it's you're not talking. So who cares?
No.
That's actually a good point. Prison falls outside society.
It does. It is the definition of being outside of society. These are people who comprised of the people who who fell outside of society's norms. That's why they're in prison. You know.
No, I understand. I totally understand that one. That's a good point.
Okay, the Jerry
My
Sandusky case, right? Just
on,
a
can I
quick
just-
interruption, Damon. Okay, Jerry Sandusky, who was a child molester, who they didn't want to dump him because he was a part of the Penn State football program. Remember, and even coach knew.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is that, yes, prisons are outside of society, but then there's these things that are above society, like the football program. Nobody wanted to nail this guy. See what I mean? So we do have that problem.
I'm not look. Savile, what's his name? Jimmy Savile or whatever from the BBC, who was found to be, basically molesting people for 20, 30 years, whatever it was. It was a huge amount
I
of
think it
time.
was longer than that.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby even, look.
Yeah, Bill Cosby. Okay.
Wow, yeah.
There are I'm saying there are examples.
That Harris guy as well from Australia. What's his name?
Rolf Harris.
Rolf Harris.
Oh,
Yeah.
Harris, yes, that's right. But again, these are outliers. Look what happens to these people once society actually finds out.
What? This guy's not going to jail.
You want to?
Well, Cosby might actually end up being. I don't know what's going to happen because of statute of limitations. But he's not. He's a pariah now. I mean, Savile. I believe he went to.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah,
they only found out after he died. Anyway.
That's right. No, I'm sorry. I mean Sandusky. Sandusky is
Sandusky's in jail.
In jail.
Yeah, Sandusky's in jail. That's right. Savile. Yeah, I know. Savile.
Is he getting his just desserts though in jail?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he'd like it. But the point is, what happens to these people when society finds out? Not their closest friends, not their colleagues around them who know them. What happens when society finds out? They're not lauded as heroes. They become pariahs. People who rape and get away with it because their close family knows, etc. When they're later found out, society doesn't let them off. Their family might have let them off. Their local constable who knows them or something might let them off. I don't fucking know. But society does not allow this.
Duggar.
Yeah.
But again,
That's what I was going to say. That's my issue. My big issue with the term rape culture is pretty much what Nathaniel was just saying. To me, if you just say we have a rape culture, that implicitly implies that as a culture we are okay with rape, and that is flat out demonstrably wrong.
I agree.
Yes.
If you want
How about this? How about we ignore
I
the
know
amount of
most
rape?
of these women, well, I wouldn't say women, but feminists that argue rape culture, many of them, all they actually mean is something that we would all probably agree with. Rape is a problem. There are certain elements within our society that accept rape and are all for it. We would all probably agree with that. But the term rape culture implies that as a culture, we
as
are
a society,
accepted.
yeah.
As a society, so we are acceptant of rape, and that is demonstrably wrong.
Right. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
But okay, so are they getting mileage out of it? The third wave feminists today saying rape culture or not?
Well,
I don't believe they are.
I think that there's more to it than that. I think the problem really has less to do with rape as a whole, as in a sense what feminism, third wave feminism, has turned into, what it's been influenced by. And their claim is not, it doesn't relate to the societies we live in, or rather they want to change the entire society more than just for one thing, more than just for rape or quote-unquote the wage gap, etc. They're talking about essentially, it's a revamped form of old world communism. And what you're talking about is a radical ideal that was morphed into this feminist ideology, and basically claims that all of society is rotten. Everything since the dawn of man is rotten because we've all bought into the way of doing things, and it all has to change completely. Okay, that's what they're talking about. So the rape thing is just one thing, but I think when they're saying it's part of a rape culture, they're talking about more than just.
Okay, well, how about this, Nathan? Okay, this jumps to mind. All right, so we get in a room with all the feminists, third wave feminists, and they call us rapists, and we just say, okay, we're rapists. Now what? I mean, what's their solution?
Well, for a start, you're a man. You wouldn't be allowed to talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're that, what do you call it, fervent. They're that zealotry.
Yes.
Well, we know that they are.
Every time a man tries to join the conversation or says something, you're mansplaining, and we don't need that.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
if
don't need
we
a man to
agreed with their
explain to us.
position, what would their solutions be?
Well, like I said, it's more about changing society in a old style communist way. It's more than just, you know, feminism. It's talking about a revolution about all of society.
Okay, this comes to mind. I agree with the woman saying I'm a rapist, okay? Then how do we have coitus then? I mean, are they trying to change the whole dynamic of coitus between a man and a woman? Is that what they're trying to do?
I think you have some disagreements there. You'll have certain feminists who would say yes. I would say, and those are the extreme end. But you have certain feminists that say no, even though what they say when they don't think about it would basically envision that.
Okay, is it going to be like flying an airplane now, having sex with a woman, where I have to hit a checklist? You know, if we're going to do this, we're going to do that.
They did that 20 years ago, if you remember. During the politically correct phase, there was a college campus where they had literally a checklist of everything you could do to get up to, you know, the penetration and then beyond, and you had to say yes to every single one.
Okay, they had a checklist.
Yes, you had to ask permission, and this was distributed. This was the college campus itself. I forget. It was Wesleyan, or I can't remember which one, but it was some liberal arts college, well-known liberal arts college. And essentially, they distributed it. It wasn't like the feminist department. It was a feminism studies. It was actually the college campus itself, the college administration that distributed this. Yeah, this was like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, something like that. During the whole 90s PC phase thing, it was widely mocked.
Okay, so these guys are more into sexual acts than the Christian. You know, the Christian who's trying to, you know, knock down homosexuals.
I would say that they're actually just as bad. I mean, I'm gonna get blamed for this, but I don't give a shit because I'm not the only one saying it. They're just as bad as fundamentalist Muslims in a lot of ways.
And fundamentalist Muslims,
because they're actually saying stuff like you know. Islam respects a woman because it doesn't look at her in a sexual way, and our society doesn't respect women because it's the same exact thing you hear from fundamentalist Muslims who wear the burqa or the head, or even just the headscarf. You know, it doesn't have to be a whole burqa. You know, I mean, the burqa is an extreme example. I recognize that. So I'm not putting that on the entire Muslim community, but it sounds exactly like a puritanical Muslim sort of you know, argument that you hear from these people all the time. So I would say that they're just as bad. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, and most of what they're saying is and demanding is hypocritical, which puts a man in a no-win situation. Even just on their dress sense, for example, they will cry their freedom to dress however they want, as sexy as they want, and not have to tolerate sexual advances from guys. That part I actually agree with. I think a woman should be able to wear whatever the hell she wants and not have to tolerate that. But the moment you even just acknowledge how she's
acknowledge
looking,
the dynamic, you're a rapist.
You're oppressing them.
You're oppressing.
So they demand the freedom to wear it, but then any acknowledgement in any shape is oppressing them. So it's like, what, you know, as a male, you're in a no-win situation. You have to basically, as Nathaniel said, it's almost a reverse as the Muslim doctrine, where the woman has to lower her gaze all the time and not look at men. This is the reverse. The man will then have to lower their gaze and not even look at a woman. Yet, if they're not, another part where it gets hypocritical, if they're not getting any acknowledgement, well, what, you know, we're saying that there's something wrong with them. Can't win.
Yeah.
And on that communism comment, Nathaniel, I'm pretty sure one of the women from 20, 30 years ago, I think her name was Bell or Pell or something.
Yeah.
This is where a lot of these feminists get their ideology from. Was her?
Yeah.
She wrote a book.
Sargon did a video on it. Yeah.
Yes, that book is full of Marxism.
Well, she's a Marxist. She's an open. She doesn't hide it. I mean, she's not. She doesn't have any. So I mean, it's not like I'm accusing them of having these conspiracies of undermining society. No, they're quite open. These thinkers in feminist circles, they're quite open about what they want. They just don't happen to be widely read outside of feminist circles. So when people, like when average people hear about it, well, it sounds very conspiratorial. It sounds very crazy, like, oh yeah, well, I haven't heard about this. Well, no, because you don't read feminist works. You don't read, you don't study women's studies. I mean, this is widely read. This kind of stuff is widely read in university circles, to in the humanities, etc. I can attest to that. I was in, I saw the beginnings of this in the 90s when I was in university, and I was in the humanities. So, it's not shocking to me, and I'm not saying that these people are, again, I'm not saying that they're lying about what they want, etc. I think they're quite open about what they want. Now, if you're talking about like the Tumblr, teenage crowd, that's a different story. I don't think they really know anything. I think that they're just following a trend, and they really, when it comes to actual feminist theory, they're idiots. Look, I'm an idiot too. I don't study this stuff, but at least I can say it enough that I don't, find this rational from what I hear, from the things I do hear, and I don't happen to pretend that I know otherwise. Okay. So if you're talking about certain feminist names, I won't know them. I just know from other feminists that I've heard of or read in the past, etc., that this is kind of what they're talking about, and I accept that. They're revolutionaries. Fine, that's their thing.
Okay, so you're telling me it's all communism?
Are you watching the chat? Somebody, Azure Bone Dragon says, "I never heard about a feminist helping male rape victims." Can we address this?
Look, again, I honestly, I don't know enough, and I've never heard of it either. Maybe there are some. I don't know.
Surely there are. Have to be, there's men who get raped in prison and they have to talk to counseling.
Yeah.
But do feminists take on their cause?
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Majority probably no.
Do feminists take on the male rape victims in prison? Do they defend them? Do they say? Do they have anything to say?
Advocate for them.
I mean, they're out of society. I understand that, but still, they're humans.
Yeah, I've never heard of. Look, again, it might happen, but I've never heard of it. So.
Okay, now look, Nathan. You say it's all communism, right?
No, I didn't say it's all communism.
I'm going to school, and I'm like, I want to hook up with a feminist. I mean, aren't they into hooking up? I mean, don't feminists want action?
If feminists want action, doesn't everybody want action?
I mean, Sid, if you're going to college, and sure they're all feminists, but they want, the party.
I'm in.
Yeah, me too. I like feminists.
I am a feminist.
I'm a feminist.
I'm one of the girls.
Sorry, my dinner just arrived. So I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
Save a piece of that Canadian bacon for me.
Well, I eat bacon here all the time. Actually, it's in fact in this area, the area in which I live is primarily Russian, and
so like how many checkpoints? About 20.
I can actually not find any beef in this area. This whole area.
The first time I ever ate pork in my life was in Israel.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yes, for the record.
Which synagogue?
It wasn't a synagogue. It was a hamburger. It was called a white meat hamburger.
Yeah, well, they have, like I said, it's mostly Russian in this area, so it's very difficult to actually find beef in this area, if not impossible. I have to go downtown to another supermarket.
One would almost assume from that life in Israel, in Haifa, in your area anyway, is as secular as life anywhere else in the secular world.
Yeah, it pretty much is, quite honestly. Well,
except for the checkpoints.
No, there's no checkpoints. Wait. What checkpoint?
He's just kidding. He's just kidding.
I don't live in the West Bank. I'm not some. I'm not some.
Not
You know.
yet.
Well,
Not
no.
yet.
Well, never. I'll never live in the West
Funny.
Bank. I can guarantee you that. No, they can. They're welcome to it, and as long as we have checkpoints, I'm happy. But let them stay.
Well, tell us about Haifa. Tell us about Haifa. Give us a bit of.
He's got to eat,
No,
Sid.
I gotta eat,
Oh,
man.
you
I'm
gotta
gonna
fucking
have dinner.
Jesus Christ! Why do you have to eat?
I'll eat quickly and I'll come back.
Stuff yourself as quickly as possible.
All right, I'll mute myself for now.
Oh, please.
Anyway, okay. Well, can we dovetail the feminist thing? Look at this. Women at college are kind of nutty. That's what we love them. I mean, so yeah, third wave feminism.
Oh, why not tell you? I remember college days. Now, that was a long time ago. It was in the 70s. However, there was no such thing as a culture of anything other than meeting and having fun and fucking and hanging out and
We really were.
talking.
Okay, you know, it's so
and
funny.
fucking and, you know.
We weren't so much about feminism, Sid, as we were anti-nuclear when I went to college. They were really against the nuclear power.
I kind of went to college in Israel itself, and that's where I met all these secular people from all over the world. Australia, the Australian girls were the horniest. There's, you know, par excellence. And then the next, I don't even know who the hell the next was, but whoever they were way below the Australian.
Way below the Australian.
You know, thumbs up for Damien and his crew. Thanks for sending Australian girls.
Send the women.
Every single one of them, without exception, was a horny little naughty girl.
Oh my God. Okay, next subject before we get exploded, attacked.
Okay. But that was college days for me. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, Australia. What about the racism issue for Australia? When are we going to discuss that?
Oh, good idea. Damien, over to you.
Alright, now, quick background story. It's the player in question his name's Adam Goods. Been playing for a lot of years now. Can't remember exactly. Over 10. Anyway, he's won many awards. Been even a crowd favourite for a lot of years. He's Aboriginal and a big part of the reconciliation movement. Now, the problem started in 2013 when a 12 or 13-year-old girl in the crowd called him an ape. She was sitting right on the fence line. As he ran past, she said it. He heard it. He immediately pointed her out, and while the game was still playing, actually got security to remove her from the game, from the crowd. He then, the next day, went on national TV, named and shamed her, and then that's when a lot of the general population started having an issue with him, because, well, felt that was the wrong thing for him to do. Mainly because she's only a kid. She claimed she had no idea the word ape could be taken in the racist context.
Well, what did she mean by it?
Which is very plausible. A lot of kids don't understand the implications of some words in an adult society. So that's when people started having an issue with him, and then it's almost like since that time, so 2 years ago, almost every time he talks, holds a press conference or anything, it's always everything is turned into a black man versus a white man issue, and I think at least half the population anyway, is now sick of it, to the point where when he's playing, every time he gets the ball, the crowd's booing him.
What sport is this again?
Australian rules football.
Oh, Australian rules, okay.
Yeah, so
I'm talking tough motherfucker.
I'm talking large crowds. Depending on who's playing or who his team's playing or whatever, crowds can vary anywhere from say 20,000 to 60, 70,000. So we're talking loud booing here. He's going to hear it. That's immediately turned into a racist issue. You got the left, politically correct media and crowd are all saying he's only being booed because he's an Aboriginal. I mean, that in itself is demonstrably wrong. We have somewhere between 60 to 70 players playing the game at the highest level in this country that are Aboriginal. He's the only one getting booed. So that in itself demonstrates it's not a racist issue. We're sick of his...
So he's making it a racist issue. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
And so many people are now sick of it. Hence why he's getting booed.
Well, shouldn't he be deported to Islamic State or something?
Oh my God.
And it's that ridiculous. It was on the news. I saw on the news last night that he's not playing this weekend. He's taking time off because of how much this is affecting his mental state.
Okay, so he's a prima donna, right? I mean, can't the Australians easily diffuse this by having a white player, stick out the olive branch and saying, "Hey, look, man, we're all on the same team," and they use that as the basis of moving on.
That's been happening. That's been happening all along. That is not good enough.
Not good enough.
The people that are thinking like him, it's no. The only thing that he will find acceptable, not just him, but these left
his minions
crowd, is for everybody who disagrees with him to put their hands up and say, yes, okay, I'm a racist. That's my only basis for booing him. That's the only thing that they will find acceptable.
Is he a good player or not a good player? Because I can tell you what's going to happen.
He's one of the best in the game.
Okay, a good player, they'll put up with it. If he's a mediocre, then he washes out the league,
Yeah. I agree with you. And yeah, that's funny. He wasn't getting booed until the point where he nationally named and shamed a child.
Oh my God.
That's when the booing started.
Okay.
Why wasn't he in some way brought to task for naming a minor? I mean, that's got to be a criminal thing.
No.
In any country to name a minor. We're not allowed to name minors in this country.
He just called the kid a racist, right?
Yeah, but he named her. We're not allowed to. The press are not allowed to write the name of a minor unless it's public knowledge anyway. Even if a minor is convicted of a crime or murder or whatever.
In a criminal case, that's the same here, but this wasn't actually a criminal case.
No, I know. But
okay, does the guy have any redeeming qualities whatsoever? I mean, does he like animals at least, or? Well, I'm thinking of like damage control. I'm thinking of like, if I'm his PR guy, how to make lemonade out of the lemon.
He does a lot of work with the.
He's only if he's gay will he be redeemed.
I would take it. I mean, the thing is that you have this player that has brought up an issue and gone overboard. Isn't that what you're saying?
Yeah, and gone
about it overboard on it. Yeah. And now how to reel it back,
He's surrounded himself by the wrong people. He won't get that advice.
Oh, then he's. How old is he, and how long has he got left in the game?
He's probably only got. He might. I'm not. He's in his 30s, so.
He's done. He's done soon.
He's in the prime.
Soon.
No, yeah. Not in that game. That's a fucking tough game to play, and you get knocked around. And by the time you're in your 30s, I'm sure you're
getting towards the end of your career.
It's like soccer.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
But it's even more.
Australian rules rugby. There's nothing.
Australian rules is like a free-for-all medieval battle.
Yeah.
Okay, so like on the whole, is Australia more racist than America, or is America more racist than Australia?
Good question.
Sometimes I would say we're on par. Other times it's hard to judge because it's not nowhere near the scale that it is in America in terms of like just on population size, and the percentage of Aboriginal people compared to the percentage of African American people is probably a lot lower as well. So a lot of it you just don't even see or hear about because of how small it is in that context.
I'm sorry, I have to.
At times it can be really hard to.
No, I have to disagree with something Bunto said. I don't think America is racist, and I don't care. I don't care what people have been seeing in the news, etc. lately that's been inflated. No, America is not a racist country. Not even close. If you want to go to a racist country, go to Asia, in an Asian country. Go to China, for example. Okay.
Yeah, but
Go to Japan,
China.
Go to Saudi Arabia. The
Hold
West.
on a sec, Nathaniel.
The
Hold on a
West
sec.
is not racist.
There's no other country other than
navel gazing like it is crazy. We've lost our minds navel gazing.
Nathaniel, that's not
Yeah.
true.
Go
The
ahead.
United States is the only country in the whole world where the KKK, where the police force is essentially made up of the KKK, and that is shown in the way they're behaving right across the board.
Well, I was thinking about this. Like, let's suppose, our friend from Australia wanted to go to the deep south and marry a black woman. There is some counties where they would, I've heard it, like Louisiana, where they would deny him the license.
It's illegal. It's illegal to deny him the license.
I know it's illegal to deny it. They would still figure out some way of
People
denying
go
him
to
the
jail
license.
to support their principles,
Fine, let them go to jail.
Yeah, but
Society.
that doesn't get these people married.
Society, but fine. Then they can go somewhere else and get married, while these other guys get thrown in jail where they belong.
That's not fair.
The fact is, that society does not condone racism in America, and American society, by and large, is not racist. Not anymore.
Oh my
I'm sorry.
goodness!
I think you
I-
are so out of touch with America.
I've seen other societies in the world. I can tell you, just from experience, that this whole America's racist meme going on is utter bullshit. You want to
How
go
come
find,
it's so
if you want to go find racism, go to Rwanda.
but how
where
come
they
it's so in your face
slaughtered
then?
each other, where they slaughtered each other based on the width of their nose and tribal affiliation. That was.
Did you know that
Oh,
African Americans make up less than 15% of our population, right, Sid? Even that.
something like that.
12?
Yes.
And they're like 80% of our incarceration population.
I know. I've been watching.
And-
the
Oh,
called
hey!
racism,
Who's heard of the
Daniel.
Sam Dubose case?
I haven't. Go ahead.
Me neither. Look at the chat. Somebody's asking, Azur, have you ever heard about the Sam Dubose case? America is very racist, is the after comment. So, I don't know.
I'm sorry. I disagree. Look, you can find instances of racism in every society, in every country in the world. There's no country in the world where
How
there's
many
racism.
countries
But
in the
overall,
world are the black
America,
are the white
overall,
policemen?
America, well, again, overall, America is one of the least racist societies.
How many countries in the world? How many countries in the world are the white policemen targeting the black population?
Can you prove that they're targeting the black population?
Yeah. we got
Yes.
black cams.
Yes.
Okay. So show me
Right.
statistics where they're targeting the black population.
Okay, how many
Statistics? I'll show
shootings
you
there have
videos.
been of African Americans since the beginning of this year? Is
Sorry,
dramatically risen.
videos here and there again are anecdotal evidence. America.
Well,
is,
they're going to hang up in courts of law because these things aren't.
Hold on a sec. Videos are anecdotal evidence. You know what an anecdote
No,
is? It's a verbal
what I'm
thing.
saying, yes, no. What I'm saying is that they are non-representative of the wide amount of jobs that police do on a daily basis by the millions and every day in this country in America. They don't represent.
That is a pretty
they
pathetic,
don't
a pretty
represent
pathetic
that.
excuse.
No, it's not.
I think it is.
Okay, so you think that a few videos of police abuse, which
A few videos this week.
Yeah,
right?
no,
I mean, there's plenty
I
of
don't mean a few
cases.
videos. Exactly. I mean many videos from all around the country. White on black.
Of egregious
The
law
white guy's
enforcement.
got a gun.
infraction.
The black guy lands up dead, paralyzed, something bad.
Okay, no, I would. First of all,
or the black woman.
I would have
As
to
in
know
last week's
what
case.
I would have to know in each case what is going on to precipitate this. Whether
Okay,
there is
well, that's
something
ridiculous. I would have to know in each case why the
You know what?
Israeli
The main
IDF is
common
bombing
factor is
Gaza.
body cams. That's
Huh?
the main factor.
What?
The main factor is body cams. Now we can
No,
see
it's
how
not.
the police are misbehaving. Yes.
No, it's
now
not.
we can see how the police are misbehaving in America.
Why is
It's coming
why
to the fore.
Okay, so body count. So by your allegation, body count is the only
Body cams. Body cameras.
Oh, body cams. Okay.
Body
cams.
cameras.
Yeah, body cams.
Show
Okay.
us the egregious offenses of law enforcement in the United States of America.
So can you show
on a
me
daily
statistics?
basis.
Right. Can you show me statistics where almost every single incident between a white police officer and a black, I would say, victim, results in violence or mishandling by the police?
Who
Or
makes
outright
these
racism?
statistics but the police? Get it? You gotta
Actually,
think,
no.
Nathaniel, start using your mind to see what's going on. That's what is the beauty of the body cam.
That's not who makes the statistics. The statistics come from the FBI.
Oh, okay. Sorry, from the FBI. Listen, law enforcement has a racket going on, and now they're being caught by the invention of the body cam.
Who's the conspiracy theorist now?
That's not conspiracy. I guess the populace. I guess the entire body of civilians in America is now conspiracy theory, knowing that the police are going way off the tracks with just simple traffic stops.
So this includes black policemen abusing black people.
No, it's the majority is white. It's white on black.
No, but actually, if you look at the statistics, it's not just white. It's also black people, black cops and Asian cops and all sorts of other kind of cops.
Forgive me, but the police are off the tracks with their law enforcement procedures and technicalities that they use to get away with their crimes against civilians. Now, with the invention of the body cam, it is being brought to the fore, and it will either have to be remedied by Supreme Court action, saying what rights the civilians will have against law enforcement in this country, because they're militarized. We're not.
Well,
we don't want to change.
You're not.
We don't want to change this country into Israel. Okay? We don't want to have checkpoints. We don't want to have people walking around with machine guns.
Like I said,
we want to have a decent, civilized.
Hold on, one at a time. Come on, one at a time.
Wait. There's no checkpoints in Israel.
No, he's right.
Okay, well, what's that thing they call the West Bank, man? I guess you don't call that Israel?
No, I don't. I call it the West Bank.
I call that occupied territory. By Israel.
But it's not Israel. It's the West Bank.
Okay, technicalities.
No. Well, excuse me for trying to be accurate. I'm sorry for being.
Okay, I'll be accurate. The Israel is giving carte blanche to occupy that area.
I could be a leftist, inaccurate guy dreaming about, what's right and wrong, and like we don't really need any definitions. It's all about what you feel, man. But no, I'm going to actually use definitions.
Okay, who mans these checkpoints, Nathaniel? It sure isn't the Palestinians.
Wait a minute. Actually, there are Palestinian checkpoints.
Oh, there's Palestinian that they man the checkpoints into entrance into Israel, right?
Yes, they do. In Ramallah, in Nablus, etc. There are checkpoints by the Palestinians.
Not very smart for the Israelis. The Israelis
what does that have to do?
Want a society where they have an oppression over a people. That's
what?
Yes, they want to oppress the Palestinians, right? There's no two-state solution. There's only the Israel state.
Why do you think that Israelis want to oppress the Palestinians?
Because they believe in some biblical fantasy that that's their land.
Why do you think that Israelis believe in some biblical fantasy, by and large?
Because they get land from that. I mean, they're sanctioned by the United States. We allow them carte blanche to do that. We shouldn't.
Do you think that Israel... I really didn't want to discuss Israel again, by the way, Sid. But, all right. Shut me up anytime you want, Sid.
I didn't start this.
All right, well, I know he did, but, okay. Here's... All right. Do you
don't want my country to turn into your country.
Do you think... They're both my countries, but do you think that Israel was founded on religious principles?
It was founded on a religious fallacy.
No, it wasn't founded on
really, and where do you get this from?
I get it from history. I mean,
really,
the Balfour Declaration.
Elaborate where.
There's something called the Holocaust, all right? And before then, there was like Zionism for the creation of a Jewish homeland based upon the Bible, based upon Holy Scripture.
Really?
And,
Really?
yes, and then after the Holocaust and all the travesty that Hitler did, they decided, well, let's go ahead and make this
Right. Are you
homeland
aware?
for the Jews.
Are you aware that most people who started the Zionist movement were diehard communists and rejected religion?
That's neither here nor there. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not so much. No, listen to me. It's not so much that they believed it, but that was their fait accompli to establish this land. I mean, every rabbi in Israel, it's not
From my
up to me
understanding,
if
that
they
was their
believe
second
in their
choice.
religious. Not all they do is they gain land from believing in that. You know, from carrying that they have ownership over that
Are
land.
you
From my
aware?
understanding, the land of Israel was not their first choice of where they wanted to set their state up. It was in Europe somewhere.
Yeah, they had a discussion about it at the International Zionist Conference, but in Der Judenstaat, Herzl does not actually lay out a religious plan for a state. He hated religion. He hated. He was so anti-religious. He basically went around saying that there should be no religious Jews.
Again, that is neither here nor there. It's just their fait accompli to ownership of that land.
Wait a minute.
It is based upon a fantasy that they have this religion that's based around this sacred scripture that has no historical bearing whatsoever. They use that sacred scripture in order to say their domain over that land.
Wait. First of all, I just said he didn't use religion. And second of all, you just said that it was based on religious
Well, that's their fait accompli. You know, you said, okay, when I said it was based on religion, you meant, oh, okay, so Bunto thinks that they believed in the religion. I'm saying, no, it's based that they use that sacred scripture as their excuse, their fait accompli to have dominion over that land.
Have you read Der Judenstaat? Have you read The Case for Israel by Herzl?
I've read, let me see. I have The War Against the Jews by Lucier Davidowitz. I got Zionism in Germany. I got plenty of books on what happened after World War II and the development of Israel.
All right. You're making a whole bunch of claims that are not based on reality.
If you look at the map...
You may disagree with my point, but what is going on here? I mean, okay, the meta of the question is, I don't want my United States turning into Israel.
Okay, hold on a
second.
Whoa. Stop, please. Look at the map. Look at the map. Okay, it's a history. It's nothing to do with holy books. It's all just about the history. Does anybody have anything that they disagree with about the series of maps?
Yeah, I don't like the red on the Ottoman Empire's
right.
symbol.
Okay.
It's triggering me.
It's triggering. All right. So the Ottoman Empire, we're now going to erase from history.
Thank you.
Well, we did. You know.
Yeah, we did.
Literally.
Okay, but basically, look at these maps. Okay, look at it from this ugly red anti-Damien color here. From 1516 to 1918, that's what, 300 years? 400 years? Sorry, 400 years. The Ottoman Empire owned or was
in charge of that area.
Was in charge of that area. There was no Palestine. It was just part of the Ottoman Empire. It was just an area. All right. 1918, the Allies come around and kick the shit out of the Ottoman Empire and take over this area that's previously governed by the Ottoman Empire, and the League of Nations gives Britain, or the United Kingdom, the mandate to govern Palestine. Now, Palestine includes everything you see on this map here, plus a whole bunch to the east. But that's not the issue. That's not the area under discussion. The area under discussion is this particular. Is all the land west of this this line here, which is a river, the Jordan River. Okay, so 1918 to 1948, the Britain has a mandate over this whole area. Okay. In 1948, Britain leaves. They pull out, and Israel declares. Before they pull out, the United Nations splits up Israel into Jewish and Arab areas. The Jews accept it. The Arabs reject it. the Arab state is the Jewish state is formed, and the Arab armies from the surrounding areas all attack. As a result of that attack, that's called the War of Independence, the sovereign borders of Israel after the 1948 war look like this. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israel recovered the Judea and Samaria area from Jordan because they had a better army, and the map of Israel essentially looked like that. The security was in place from the river.
Okay, why did Jordan?
Hold on, I haven't finished yet. The river to the sea, and then in 1994, during the Arab lying and cheating and deceiving, and the Palestinians lying and cheating and deceiving, they got themselves this West Bank and Gaza bit for themselves to administer, and they've fucked it up ever since. So that's kind of the history in a nutshell.
That's not the Palestinians' fault.
All right, let's talk.
Okay, the whole meta of this conversation is no use turning America into a sort of doppelganger of Israel, where you have checkpoints, people walking around with machine guns. I mean,
nobody walking around with machine guns here.
They walk around with machine guns in Israel, dude. I've been there and seen it.
Where?
I've been to Tel Aviv, man, and I've seen them walking around with machine guns.
Soldiers?
Yeah, they're soldiers. I mean, I've seen
American soldiers don't walk.
I've been to Tel Aviv. Don't please. I mean, you presented several things that are just so spurious. First, saying America's not a racist country at all. I mean, that's just in and out. Now you're saying there's people that don't walk around, soldiers or just civilians that are like soldiers, right? That don't walk around Israel with machine guns. Because I've seen
there's almost no civilians that can even own a machine gun in Israel.
Oh yeah.
The gun laws here are extremely strict.
Oh yeah.
In fact, you're not even allowed, and most Israelis are not even allowed to own a pistol. They completely changed the gun laws here years ago.
Sure. I mean Israel is like one of the most peaceful countries we know in the world right now.
Bunto, the army is on.
I didn't say that. I made just a point of fact that there are not tons of people walking around with guns in Israel.
There's plenty of militarization in Israel. That is just non-existent here in the United States.
It's a small country with a large army, but it's there for a reason. But most people do not walk around with guns. I'm sorry, it's just not true.
Most people don't walk around with guns. Okay.
Well,
anyway,
look at
the checkpoints are manned by what? Shriners?
What?
The checkpoints are manned by who? Shriners? You said that the Palestinians now man checkpoints where people can enter Israel?
No, I said that in the West Bank is where they have checkpoints, and there are actually Palestinian checkpoints as well, because the PA has problems with the Hamas, and they try to arrest the Hamas.
Okay, how about this? This easy, Nathaniel. Why does it have to be checkpoints? Why can't you make a treaty with those people and give peace?
Sure. I'll tell you what.
The two-state solution to that problem.
Let's talk about that. Who am I going to discuss with? Who am I going to sign a deal with?
Good point.
Palestinian Authority.
Okay, all right. No, that's fine. Can the Palestinian Authority actually enforce this treaty?
Why don't you find out with them? Try to reach some accommodation with the Arabs in order to have stability in that area. Quit building on their land. In fact, why don't you get your troops off of their land so you can have some sort of peace with those people?
All right. First of all, the Palestinian Authority itself is supported almost entirely by the United States and Israel, without which they would not exist.
Okay,
the Palestinian Authority is actually not in a position to make a treaty with Israel.
Okay,
I mean,
Israelis want to have peace with somebody. That's the question. How about that easy? Do you people want to have peace?
One question for you.
We did vote for it.
Okay. How did you plan to bring it about? By taking over more of their land?
No. We signed a treaty.
All right. One question, Bunto. In the last 100 years, because this is roughly how long this has been going on, how many peace offers have Israel made that have been flatly rejected and denied
That have been done in good faith? None.
compared to how many offers have been put forth by the Arab people?
All I know is this. It took an American president to go down there and to get any sort of a treaty between the Israelis and one of their Arab neighbors. Okay?
Okay, so
And what does he get? Instead, every time he goes, in fact, I think the last time he went back that they shunned him, that they didn't want him to be in the area, President Carter. Okay? The Israelis, don't try to paint this picture that the Israelis are in any way interested in a peaceful outcome.
No, it wasn't President Carter who wanted.
Yeah, it was President Carter. Oh, I guess you could call Bill Clinton, right?
No. You're misreading what I was saying. It was Sadat who went to Jerusalem.
Oh, it was Sadat. It wasn't Carter. Didn't have anything to the Camp David.
Before Carter got involved, it was Sadat who initiated it. He turned out to be the man of peace. Carter facilitated it, but it was actually Sadat and Begin that came to terms. Carter didn't actually negotiate it. He basically offered his positions. I mean, I read the book. He offered his positions during the negotiations at Camp David, but the actual instigator of this treaty was actually Sadat.
Who was the last Israeli president that tried to reach an accommodation with the Arabs?
Benjamin Netanyahu.
Oh, really?
Yes, the Y River Accords. Have you never heard of them? Wow, I'm stunned. There's something you don't know. Go look it up.
Believe me, the Likud does nothing genuine. I mean,
again, do you even know when? Do you even know when the Y River Accord? Do you know what they were? Do you know where they took?
Okay,
place?
the Y. That was the one with that they had. What's his name? Who's the guy? The PLO guy? The Y River Accord. Isn't that with Arafat?
It was with Arafat and who else?
I believe it was with Bill Clinton, Arafat. But I mean, it was just a sham because you guys went and invaded.
Netanyahu.
You guys went and invaded.
It was King
the territories, Gaza, right?
It was when the Y River Accords had very little to do with Gaza. They had everything to do with the West Bank, and it was with King Hussein of Jordan was the main arbiter with Bill Clinton at Y River in America.
It's like you bring up. They had no force. They had no because you guys invaded Gaza for like 2 years. Remember, over supposed rocket attacks over a soldier, right? They kidnapped your soldier and you went to go get him there, and you did about 1,000 atrocities over in Gaza, right? Before you got kicked out by the United Nations, just put opprobrium on Israel for the Gaza invasion. And that happened after the Y Accords.
When are you talking? What are you talking about?
The Gaza invasion. I mean, that was
when Gaza was invaded in 1967.
Okay.
By Egypt.
The last.
No, Egypt had it before. Israel
when Arafat died, wasn't that the West Bank invasion?
There was no invasion when Arafat died. No, you're talking about the second. I don't think you know enough to really understand.
No, this is what I know. This is really. You can say this. I don't know, but what I know is the Israelis have never been interested in peace in that area.
Hang on a second.
Especially with
From what you know, you don't seem like you know enough facts. I'm sorry.
Nathaniel, I am interrupting.
Banto,
I'm agreeing with you, Nathaniel. You don't know, Banto. It's obvious you don't know enough facts.
Okay.
And one-sided.
Tell me about all these
peace offers have come forth from the Arab side compared to how many peace offers have come forth from the Israeli side. I thought that was a pretty simple question. Yet you keep pointing and throwing the blame all at Israel about making
who's occupying the land
offers.
Who's occupying the land?
No one's occupying Gaza.
Nobody's occupying it. Okay, then they can just leave, quit building settlements.
No, there's no settlements in Gaza.
And in Gaza. Okay, but in the West Bank, how
Hold
about
on, let's use Gaza as the test case when Israel leaves, pulls out.
Yeah, what happened?
What happens?
What happens?
Yeah, what happens to Gaza after Israel pulled out?
Getting out those people's
back to the Gaza. Hold on a minute. When Israel pulled out of Gaza, they gave it back to Gaza, and they said, "Here you go. The infrastructure's all here for you. All you got to do is pick up and carry on
Fine.
from here,
It's
and
their
your
area.
people
They
will
can run
be
it however they want to run it.
and your people will be prosperous, and everything will be fun, and we'll have good relations, and there'll be foreign trade, and
That's neither here nor there. I mean,
and
the point is,
then hold on a
get
second,
off those people's land.
it's very much here nor there, here and there, because what happened was Israel pulled out, left the Gazans everything they needed, and what did they do? They proceeded to have a civil war. They proceeded to kill their internal opposition and then implement Sharia law and Hamasnic culture over the whole of the Gaza Strip, which turned it into an absolute fucking prison for everybody.
So that's why Israel needs to be back in Gaza?
No, that's why Israel should not leave.
So what's the problem, man? That's a step in the right
That was
direction.
the test case for Israel
Leaving the
leaving.
occupied areas
That was
is
the
a
test
step in
case.
the right.
Let me finish. Excuse me. Have a little bit of respect. I am the host. But that was the test case for Israel leaving occupied territory. Okay.
Good for
But
them.
there's no Israelis who say that we should be back in Gaza. Where do you get this from?
Exactly. That's not.
Well, I'm saying fine. I mean, leave everything. Leave all the occupied areas. All the Israelis go back to the 67 borders. How's that?
That's
For starters.
ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Why should they?
Why
do
is that ridiculous?
Because they won it fair and square.
Yeah, because they won it. Okay, I love it. Why do you think those guys attacked Israel?
And besides, for security reasons, the borders, the sovereign borders of Israel have to run from the Jordan Valley, from the River Jordan, from the Jordan River.
There is no in the Israeli mind. There is no settling with an Arab.
There is no two-state solution.
There is no two-state solution.
No.
I rest my case. I don't want that to happen here to
mine.
America. That's the whole thing. We don't need to be militarized up like
Well,
Israel.
America's a one-state solution.
Yeah, look what happened to us. I mean,
Well,
if they, the Israelis were only 100 years too late.
okay, well, Israel will be a one-state solution, but it won't be Christian, so it won't be so fucked up.
Oh, I don't care about the religion.
No, I mean, that's why America's fucked up, is because of the religion. Let's face it.
No, I mean, just
Oh, no.
the meta of the conversation is that the claims that Israel is some sort of model of human rights is
I didn't say that.
far
No
beyond the
one said
pale.
that.
I never said that.
Checkpoints, machine guns.
You're conflating a whole bunch of shit, Mr.
No, I mean, I'm just telling the truth. I mean, look, we're having human rights problems here with our police force on our African American culture. It's like something that shouldn't happen here in the United States.
I'm telling you the truth is a Christian statement. Are you a Christian, Banto? Are you a Christian?
No, I'm not a Christian.
Well, then don't talk like one.
No, a Christian supports Israel. They support the...
No, Christians
Not
tell
all
you
of
the truth, and you know that's a lie.
Christians support Israel.
Not all of them do.
It's got nothing to do with supporting Israel. It's about what they say to you and to me in a hangout or face-to-face. They lie to you right in your face. They look you right in the eye and they lie to you.
Okay. The number one supporters of Israel in America are the Christians.
In America, but what's the percent of the
number one
population?
supporter of Israel is the Jews in America.
But okay, no, I'll take what he says face value. So, what's the percentage of population compared to the rest of the world? Is America that big a fucking deal?
Yes, America is that big a fucking deal. I mean, if it wasn't for America, your country wouldn't have even existed, dude.
You're really very parochial, aren't you? I mean, it's just kind of funny. Have you ever lived anywhere else?
Yes. Okay. Well, look. Let me explain something to you, so you simply know that America, my country, bankrolls your country. If we didn't supply you all this military gear, all this free intelligence, all this money, stature just for being an outpost in the Middle East, your country wouldn't last. That's just
really.
fact. Yes.
So America is also bankrolling all the other countries
Yeah, it's a racket.
And
we try to have stability in that area. Okay, that's why we signed the Iranian nuclear accord, right? We want to have some sort of solution to the answer between Israel and the Arabs.
Banto, hold on.
You guys play us like a harp.
Did you know that America bankrolls Pakistan as much as it bankrolls Israel? In fact, exactly as much as it bankrolls Israel. Yes, exactly as much. If America thinks Israel needs more weapons, they'll send them. If Pakistan wants more weapons and America doesn't think they'll need them, doesn't want to send them, she won't. Simple. It's exactly the same deal.
Who always votes Israel's way in the United Nations, no matter what? I mean, you guys Israel could, eat babies on live TV.
I want you to acknowledge.
The United Nations could object against it. We will vote with
I want you to acknowledge that the United States funds Pakistan exactly the same way as the United States funds Israel. Because you have to acknowledge that. That's true.
I would say that they could probably provide numbers saying that, that they're equal in aid, but it's not. We give much more credit, much more industry and endeavors to Israel than we ever did Pakistan.
Well, what the fuck does Pakistan produce? Then look at what Israel produces.
Mm-hmm.
That was
it has nothing to do with production. It just has everything to it has everything to do with Israel's influence over our political system here in America.
No, it's got everything to do with the capabilities of Israel in the business sector and the military sector, rather than other countries which basically don't produce or do anything for America. America's interest lie with Israel.
Not support Israel. I mean, I don't see that less than a decade.
Why do you think that America has interest in Israel?
Because they have a lot of power in our political system.
I want to say something before you guys carry on. Hold on a second. I just want to say.
Control.
I just want to say that America totally funds Pakistan. The Pakistan government tolerates the Taliban in the north. They somehow have little treaties. They do not go out to wipe out the Taliban and the Islamist threat. That will never go away unless they do that. They don't. Israel, on the other hand, if there was an Islamist threat that within their borders or even just outside their borders, bang, they'll go in. They'll kill it right there and then. How dare you, Banto, criticize Israel for being funded by...
I'm not criticizing. I'm just offering observations of what is... I mean, I'm just offering my observations. I'm not like criticizing Israel.
Yeah,
it's like, yes, okay, listen. Yes, you can walk around with machine guns, and yes, you can occupy their land, and yes, you can have checkpoints.
Again,
yes, you can spy on us, and yes, you can have tremendous control over our political system. But it's just like, I mean, the only way that it would be surprising is like Bunto goes to sleep tonight and he wakes up and an Israeli Likud, politician actually puts forward a two-state peace plan with the Arabs, saying, "Hey, guess what, America and the world, we're going to actually settle with these people and try to live with them."
But they've actually done
that.
Never
happened.
What do you mean? They've done that.
Dozens of times.
They've done it. The Wye River Accords. They've done it in the past.
And then they invaded.
Why are you only demanding that the Israelis put forward an offer and not the Arabs?
Right.
Why are your demands only one-sided?
Right.
Okay. When the tanks and planes bomb your area and invade your lands, it's like you can only offer so many peace before you have to defend yourself, right? I mean, you have to understand that it is the Israelis who have to offer the peaceful solution to the Arabs.
No. History is chronological, and there's nothing you can do to change that.
Sure, I can't argue that, but the thing is that,
but you
can't delude ourselves saying that the Israelis want peace with the Arabs.
You are trying to change history.
Bunto, how do you defend the Muslim population of Jerusalem back in, I think it was about 1920, who went on terrorist attacks against the local Jewish population simply because
I don't have to defend those people. I don't have to defend those people.
No. You just said
those people, believe it, even before 1920, they were at each other's throats.
Hang on. You just said these people are defending themselves after being attacked. Now, I just brought up one of the very first terrorist attacks in that region regarding this situation that was initiated by the Muslim population of Jerusalem against the local Jewish population who were also already living there simply because these talks were starting. Who
What
was
if I tell you this?
attacking? Who was
That is
being the
essentially
aggressor,
not
and who
terrorism.
was trying? Who was being attacked? How do
That's
you
not
defend?
terrorism because they're all Semites. I mean, they've
Does
all
anybody?
been fighting each other for thousands of years,
That
killing each
is
other.
one
The
of the
thing is
biggest
that
things I have ever heard. That's not
yes,
terrorism.
they all are
because
Arabs. They
they're
all
this
are
type of
Arabs
people.
in my mind.
Okay,
and
one at a time, please. Otherwise, I can't keep up.
They're all
Terrorism
Arabs.
is
They're all
terrorism,
Semites.
regardless of who commits it against who. To justify, to turn around and say that's not
I'm
terrorism
justifying it now
because
by
these
saying that
type
they're all
of people,
Semites.
you're a fucking bigot, and I'm going to call you on it.
What
You
does
may say that I'm a bigot, but that's just, I mean, you can
what-
test the
what-
DNA.
Hold on. This whole idea about moderation, about talking and free speech, to let one guy finish before another guy answers. Could we at least do that for each other?
Yeah, but his
Okay, call me
definition
a
is
bigot as
wrong.
much as you want now.
No, his definition is wrong. What does being Semitic have to do with a terrorist act?
Right, that's what I mean. It's not terrorism. I mean, those people have been fighting each other for thousands of years. So to say,
Really?
okay,
Oh,
look,
wait,
in
wait,
1920,
wait,
it was a
wait,
terrorist
wait,
act,
wait,
right?
wait,
Well,
wait,
why was it a terrorist act? They've been fighting
wait,
each other for thousands of years.
Really? Where do you get this from?
Where do I get this from?
That's a good
Okay.
question. Where do you get that from?
Where do you get
That
this from?
That they're Semitic, that their DNA probably matches up closer than, say, me, a Native American,
You're going on these
there.
huge tangents. Where do you get the idea
Forgive
that
me.
Arabs have been fighting for thousands of years?
Something called the Bible. I mean,
But-
there's a history of them at each other's throats for a long time. I think. Let me even go before the Bible, from days of Alexander the Great.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Arabs are not in the Bible. Arabs are from Arabia.
Oh, okay.
Arabia is
Forgive me. I forget the proper name for them. The way you guys are all the same. You're all Arabs in my book. You're all Semites. I mean, it's just a fancy name you gave each other.
Wait, really? Do you know?
Yes.
Do you know where? Do you know? You know where the population come from? Do you understand the history?
No,
of
I
it?
understand enough that those people in that area have always been fighting over rocks, okay, or over their stupid religion.
I don't think you know anything. You're
Well, you may think I don't know anything, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who would agree with me that you either fight over your religion or rocks, your territory. And the thing is that there's no end in sight for your conflict. You're not trying to seek some sort of peaceful solution.
You're dead wrong. First of all, Arabs and Jews have not been fighting for thousands of years. That's not true. Okay. Most
the thing that's not true is
Jews,
America isn't a racist country too, right? That's not true.
I'm sorry.
Now, you see, if you guys are going to talk over each other, I'm also going to talk over you guys, okay?
But most Jews were oppressed by Arabs, okay?
You guys are all the same. You're all Arabs to me.
Well,
okay, okay, I guess you're the one to talk about racism in America.
Why is that racist? Is it racist calling you all Arabs? Why is that racist?
Because you're pointing out
okay, what's so bad about being
race.
What is so bad
out as a separate race together?
You guys are separate races?
Yeah, you're one race, and the rest of us are all one race as well.
Oh,
and you call us Arabs.
You guys. First, why don't you learn that we all have to live together, right? And just accept that you're all the common DNA race. Try to get along with your brother and reach a peace accord.
Yeah, but don't offer your neck for it to be beheaded.
I want you to follow your own.
Why not offer your head to be beheaded? Offer your head to be beheaded if you're going to get peace.
I want you to follow your own logic here for a minute. You said before that what the instance in the 1920s that I mentioned is not terrorist because they're Arab against Arab. That's basically what you just said. Then you followed that up with talking to Nathaniel that you see them all as Arabs, yet when Israel does something, they're terrorists. Yeah, it's an Arab on Arab thing again.
I never said. I said I will not criticize Israel. I just say I will offer observations.
You've done nothing but criticize Israel.
That's called criticizing. Okay. Well, sorry if it is actual, but true. That's the way reality works, man.
And said nothing negative about the Arab side of the issue.
Okay, so I have to play
everything you
fair
said
and
has been
start
one-sided.
saying bad things about the Arabs too.
Well, the thing is, okay, this is the problem. This is the problem. We're having a problem with Banto. You're not letting anybody finish their point, and it would help the conversation flow better if you did. Please.
Okay, I'll let the Arabs go first.
Okay, Arab number one, Muhammad Damien. Please, would you go first? And then Muhammad Nathaniel, and then Muhammad Sidney. And then Banto.
Native American Banto.
Native American.
No, I'm sorry, I can't
think-
do it in that order. I have to address what he says. I'm a reactionary.
Okay,
so.
all right. Okay, I'd like to.
I didn't
I'd
call
like to
anybody
see-
reactionary.
Hold on a second. I would like to have Nathaniel's reaction to his dinner that he just had. Let's
Oh, it's
just-
delicious.
Yeah, what was it?
I told you before.
I forget.
Oh, it was pad Thai and a whole bunch of other Thailand.
Oh, Thai dish. Thai
Yeah.
dish. Lovely. Mm.
Yeah, very very tasty.
That's lovely. Yum, 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 yum.
We have a lot of Thai people here actually in Israel, by the way. I don't know if you know, but there is a huge amount here.
Well, that's nice.
It is very nice. They make
And
terrific
welcome,
food.
Pimp Monk. Look who's
They make
here.
terrific food, and they're very nice people actually.
Direct from VidCon.
And they do wonderful things with the chicken. No, really, we have a lot of them here, and many of them actually have been since a while now have been born here, and some of them have been serving here in the army, etc.
Okay, well, who cares? We're talking about your dinner. We're not talking about Thai, the Thai influence on the IDF.
So, like, how many can run for president in there?
Oh, all of them. Actually,
Well,
no,
you
they can.
I thought you had to be a
President's-
Jew to be president.
No. You don't have to be. There's no requirement to be Jewish
You
to
have
be
to be
president.
Jewish.
Your party has
Oh,
to
really?
win. Yeah, there's
They
no
have Palestinian members in their parliament.
members in Knesset. The highest judge in the entire land is an Arab. The
So
highest
it's
judge
feasible
is
for a
Supreme
Palestinian to
The
arrive to
highest judge
Yeah,
in the
no.
land, an Arab, sentenced the
Sent-
ex-president to jail.
to jail.
Yeah.
The highest judge of the Supreme Court is an Arab, and he sentenced an ex-president of Israel to jail for rape.
Fair enough, but like somebody can rise to Netanyahu's position and be an Arab.
Yes.
Do you know that there are Arabs who vote for the Likud? I don't know if you're aware of this. but
Well,
there
I mean,
are
that was a yes or no
Arab
question.
people.
I mean, that wasn't. I don't care if Arabs vote for freaking Donald Trump. I just wanted to hear, say, yeah, sure, Bunto, we can have an Arab president here in Israel.
You could if their party wins. Yes.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
I mean, how feasible is that for an Arab to rise?
It's nothing to do with feasibility. It's the fact that he can.
Oh, it's not so much feasible.
It's
that
possible.
Yeah.
The system is set up so that it can happen if the people want it to happen.
Yeah. First off, your question was, could it happen? And then the answer is yes. It could happen.
Fine. No, I mean, I'm just asking. It's gonna happen, right? We're gonna have just like we had the black president here, Barack Obama. We're gonna
how
have
many Arab presidents
country.
have we had? How many Arab presidents have we had in the United States?
Well, none so far. But I'm asking you.
Okay,
You're
okay,
telling me that
so-
yes, it is plausible and feasible for an Arab to be president of
It's
Israel.
entirely possible. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He just has to be a guy who appeals to the larger part of the majority.
Can it be a Muslim?
There's
Of
no
course.
law. There's no law against Muslims in this entire country. We're all equals.
Right.
Okay. So
Okay, hold on a minute.
why was I under the impression that?
Whoa. Let's forget about Israel. Let's talk. Let's welcome Pimp Monk. You got audio today?
Hello, yes, I have
Oh,
audio.
excellent. Welcome.
Did you bring
I'm
me a
sure you don't
coffee,
give one.
Pimp?
Did you what?
I'm asking Pimp if he brought me a coffee.
Ah, yeah, Pimp. Did you?
No.
Oh well, there you go.
I'd just like to
Okay.
thank you guys for streaming me out. I didn't know how multicultural Israel was.
Hugely multicultural. Sometimes
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
It's about
there's
me
no
now.
racism there, right?
But I didn't say there's no racism. There's racism
everywhere, but
I mean, like you said, in America, there's no racism here in
No,
America,
I'm
so there's no
talking-
racism.
Israel's
in
not a
Israel.
racist country, but America is.
No, I'm talking. No, yeah, well, no. Look, I said that there's racist elements in every single country.
Oh,
that you
okay.
visit. I said
But
that-
America is racist.
Wait. Well, let me finish. I said that very clearly. But what I also said was compared to other countries, America and the West are absolutely not racist in any sense of the word.
The same way Israel is racist.
I look, by law there should be no racism. Okay.
By
There
law.
are racist incidents in every country, here in the United States, in France, in the UK, everywhere in the world. Okay, there are racist incidents, but the difference is what does society at large and what does the law say about it? All right.
Okay.
Society at large.
I actually will
and
say
law
that's
at
actually what the
large
law can
does that.
enforce.
What?
I'll actually say it's more important what the law actually tries to enforce. I mean, this is interesting to you guys saying that, oh yeah, we could have a freaking Muslim be president of Israel. That's news to me.
Why is it news to you? Have you ever thought
Because
about
it's unbelievable, dude. That's why it's news to me. I'm gonna have to now check with, my other Israeli friends to see, how feasible it
Read
is
the
for,
Israeli Constitution.
Ahmadinejad to rise to a level of Netanyahu in Israel. Because
Yeah,
to my knowledge, they want you to, be on board
There's
with
a
the
difference
Hebrew
between
religion.
a secular government, a secular-minded
Israel
government.
isn't a secular government.
It's
It
a
is.
secular-minded. Yes, it is.
Yes, it's a secular government.
Hmm.
It was founded as a secular government. Have you not read the founding documents?
It may be founded, but it's, I don't see that many Arabs rising to positions of power.
Again,
As far as the direction of Israel going, because okay, I'll
Okay.
tell you why, Nathaniel. There would have been an Arab by now who would have been able to negotiate a peace treaty with the Arabs, right?
No.
If that was
Yeah,
true.
that's such
No,
ridiculous.
all the presidents of Israel have been Jews.
That is bullshit,
Slanted
bullshit.
against
Panto,
Arab people.
I want to point out a point of order here. You're talking shit because
Why is that shit? That's
hold on a second. If a black person becomes a president of America, then there's no such thing as racism in America, correct? That's
No.
according to your logic.
I'm not saying. Well, I'm trying to say
That's
this.
according to your logic.
If Israel was a secular government, right, they would have got an Arab in charge so they can finally iron out this peaceful situation with the
They
other
do
Arabs.
have Arabs
Why
in charge.
not?
They have Arab
But it
cabinet
is
ministers.
not a secular government. It is a Hebrew government
Is-
that just hires right-wing, biblically based
Now
politicians.
you're trolling. Now
Likud type.
you are trolling.
No, and that run this country in a way saying that they have
I can't take you
some sort of dominion over these lands indicated
Yeah.
in the Bible and in their.
I really can't
Tanakh.
take you seriously. I just can't take you seriously.
I can't take him seriously. He's got to be. He's got to
Yeah.
be.
Okay, how else would
Yeah.
you
You gotta be
explain
putting
why
one
they're
on us.
occupying these territories?
No one's occupying any territories. That's the thing.
Then now it's not even occupation; it's their land to begin with, right? They're the chosen people for that land.
I'm occupying
Okay.
pepperoni.
Let's talk about pepperoni. I'm interested.
Pepperoni is awesome.
What's it made out of? What's in there? Read us the ingredients, please.
Arab babies.
See, there's a use for them.
Mm-hmm. Very tasty. Little
Okay.
bastards. Good.
Yeah. So we've hit the 90-minute mark of the show, and are we running out of steam? Are we ready to call it a night and
No,
pick it up
fuck
next
no.
week?
I'm still playing Skyrim, so let's keep going.
You want to keep going? All right. Well, let's have a round robin vote here. How about you, Bunto?
Well, I mean, it was an interesting conversation. Okay, listen, I know that you guys get heated over hearing. How would you say? I guess I could say
Untruth?
the opposing
alternate
viewpoint.
alternate and
You're hearing the other
revisionist.
end of something
opinions.
that's unpleasant, especially when it's your home country, right? Like somebody will say America isn't racist, and I'm like, where has this person been? Where is this person coming from? They're
I
That's
grew up.
what
I
I'm
was born
saying.
and I grew up in. And I
So
was
when I say something like, well, I don't want my country to turn into Israel, that's just offering observations.
Well,
not
I got a
necessarily
question for you,
criticism.
Which is more your culture, a culture that you understand. The Iroquois Confederacy back in the day, was that
Not
racist?
really.
Was that racist?
I'm not sure. I don't
I'm
know.
pretty
I've never
sure.
heard of it until you just mentioned it.
The Iroquois Confederacy, you've never heard of it?
Well, forgive me. I mean, there's a lot of Native American history I'm negligently
It's the
deficit.
empire. It's the empire that ran, northern
Okay.
northern New York and Illinois and
Fair enough.
whatever
Well, I
before
know
the
that they
white man
took over their
got here.
houses, right? They were like very civilized people, and then the white man just came over and took over their houses, kicked them off.
Oh, I'm not saying they didn't. I'm just saying that there was an
Goddamn
empire.
white people.
There was an empire where one or two native tribes subjugated 3 or 4 or 5 other native tribes. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
And
But
this
what, last thing to dovetail is that yes, there are opposing views that are unpleasant to hear, but one shouldn't accuse somebody else of bigotry just for merely stating the obvious.
I actually didn't accuse you of being a bigot.
I wasn't referring to you, Nathaniel.
All right.
I'm a bigot.
Yes, you
I'm a
are. So
smaller-
shut your face. Shut your
Yeah.
your Arab baby eating face.
Your pepperoni Arab eating face.
That's right.
There's that little bastard right there. I've been wanting to eat him all day.
Do you have any Pim Monk? Do you have any tales from VidCon that you'd like to share with us?
Well, there's a lot of tales from VidCon.
Well, how about the 60-second tale?
I met the one person that I really wanted to meet was Jacqueline Glenn. Got to do some videos with her.
Mm-hmm.
We went down there and fucked with some Christian protesters, and it's in my latest video and her latest video. They were there just to ruin people's fun. There was no, okay, I understand if they showed up at an atheist convention. Like if they show up at a PastaCon, I kind of get it because, that's what they oppose. But VidCon, it had nothing to do with religion. And they showing up with their signs and stuff, so I went down there and gave them shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good. So if I get the link to those videos, both of you and Jacqueline's, I'll put them in the detail section of the show.
Yeah, that one guy had a sign that said, "The blood of Jesus will clean your sin." And I asked him how good a cleaner was it. Would it clean my commodes, my floors?
Oh, that was mean.
It wasn't mean. You gotta be mean. I hate when people say you can't be mean. Fuck that. You gotta be mean.
So tell us more about Jacqueline Glenn. I'm very interested to.
Well, she's absolutely a very approachable person, very interesting, and
Hey, Randy.
and I've been talking to her for a long time, of course, online. Me and her has been friends for a while, and like me and Randy was talking today, sometimes when you actually do meet someone, you're kind of disappointed. I wasn't disappointed. She was everything that I wanted her to be.
Yeah, I've watched her videos and yeah, very pretty. But her videos, she's got like a brain which is like huge, massive, bigger than Einstein's, I think. And that pretty little body, it's like amazing.
I don't know about bigger than Einstein's, but
Don't you sacrifice her, Sid. You
Excuse
must.
me.
What? I didn't say that. That did not come from me.
I didn't accuse you of saying it. So what did you say? Well, what didn't you say?
I would just like to state for the record, I didn't do it. Nobody saw me do it. You can't prove anything.
he did it.
It's what you can prove.
No.
Oh, by the way, I did get very high at VidCon.
You get very high, did you? Oh, okay, good. Have you come down yet?
No, I'm still high.
No, excellent. What was it that you injected?
Meth.
Did you inject the meth, or did you inject the marijuanas?
He injected
The marijuana. I injected what?
He
The
injected
marijuana.
pots.
Yeah, 2 pots. The pot leaves.
You invented 2 marijuanas. Wow. Injected 2 marijuanas.
There was marijuana there. Pimp Monk took part.
We have someone in the comment section who just said, "I love Jacqueline Glenn,"
I do too.
and that was George Mayer.
Thanks for
She's
listening.
a great person. No, fuck you, George, for listening.
So, has everybody met Bunto?
Oh, by now.
So I have now.
Nathaniel
I just
and
met
Bunto, I'd like to introduce
No,
you to.
we've met.
previously.
Yeah,
I know
met
Fox
a few times before. It's more than a few
I think
times.
this might be the first time I've met him.
I've seen you.
Monk and Bunter have never met.
I don't think so.
Well, come on, have a hug, have a kiss.
Well, how tall is the Jacqueline Glenn woman? Is she tall or short?
She was in Playboy, Bunto. She was in Playboy. Why don't you go look?
But it wasn't.
really
I mean, it wasn't like that. It
Right.
wasn't like she was naked or anything.
Huh?
She wasn't
really
naked.
was. No, I know, but she really was in Playboy. Go look it up.
Yeah, I want to know she was.
Yeah.
And she was
Anyway, so is this a tall woman or a short woman?
she's short
Okay, short.
and
But
beautiful.
she doesn't have much fat.
Now she's skinny as shit. And in one of the videos, I say, you know, a very skinny person and a very fat person. Yeah, she's a charming person.
And
And her boyfriend. Wait
that
a minute.
statement by Pimp Monk did not make her look uncomfortable at all.
Yeah, she didn't like it when I said that. Actually, she was like, she even hit me after I shut the video. She said, don't say that. Don't say that.
You
But,
sexist
yeah.
pig.
No, it wasn't about me. She didn't like me insulting myself.
So you do
I'm a
your, like,
self-deprecating
humor.
motherfucker. Yes, I'm a self-deprecating motherfucker.
But then you're good at sort of, you know, insulting me, for example.
I'm good at insulting everybody.
Well, I'd like my insult of the day from Pimp Monk, please.
Sid, you look like a goddamn pedophile, rapist, piece of shit.
He's a third-wave feminist now.
No, I'm fifth wave. I created some more shit.
A third wave. Did he say third wave?
And I'm fifth wave, man. I
What
like.
is that?
I actually got an argument about
I
feminism.
do agree that pedophiles are pieces of shit, though.
Yeah, I got an argument about feminism at VidCon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Did you?
Good.
That was the only kind of debate I got into, really. Well, besides the protesters, but yeah, he was sitting there talking about male privilege, and I'm like, fuck it. What in your mind? What is male privilege? And he just gave me a bunch of ignorant shit that didn't make no sense.
Was it a big guy or a tiny guy?
It doesn't matter. Look at that.
Yeah, but you'd like 4'9" or something.
Nah, I'm like 6 foot, but don't make shit. If he whoops my ass, I'll be hurt. That's all.
Exactly. Bones
7 foot tall
they
feminist.
do heal.
Yeah, but it was a great time actually, and got to promote secular TV a lot.
All right.
I
welcome back.
actually may have some new content creators for secular TV. I don't know if Randy's talked to Jason yet, but he's really cool.
Content creators?
Good.
Yeah.
You know what? Talking about content creators, we are really an outlet for content creators, for new content creators. Randy here is the president of Secular TV, and he is the one with the vision. And perhaps he can best explain it if you want, unless you want me to give it a shot. But it would be good if you did.
I would love to hear you give it a shot, actually.
Put him on the spot right now.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's why. Let me explain why very briefly. Because I kind of like to hear it from someone else's words. You know, I did every single meeting with every single content creator.
Right.
You know, I did the initial interviews with everyone here. And so I've explained it to everyone, and I've explained it 150, 200 times. I don't know. And so I'd like to hear how someone else sees it, I guess.
Okay. Well, you know, I would have to just try my best to mirror what you're all about. Let me just get some.
I ain't gonna read shit.
I have to read.
Goddamn, Sid!
Well,
You don't make me do it.
Hey, you tell that to Eddie Newscaster.
well, hey, look. You don't
But
have
what I do want to say is that evidenced by this show alone, it is quite obvious that atheists do not always agree. During the show, you saw some pretty hefty one-on-one disagreement. Nothing was about the religion per se. Like it wasn't about any dogma or anything about
Theology.
religion. Sure, religion was brought up in the sort of kind of reference, reference within the conversation. But you do see that we do not always agree, and we do our reach is towards the secular community, people like yourselves. We want to grow. We want to grow as an organization. Secular TV is, I believe, on the verge, or the paperwork is being done to become a 501(c), whatever they call it in America,
Non-profit.
A non-profit, right?
Speak for yourself. I don't want to grow. I want to be the unique guy. I want to
All
be.
right. Well, you're accepted. You're
Fuck
accepted.
you all, you sheep.
You're
you,
a polar bear.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's not a problem. You're out of there.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Okay. What was that there, Monk? But basically, I also want to say.
That dude's lying. He don't want to grow.
I also want to say, please, I'm doing my pitch. I also want to say that in order for us to grow,
You suck at it.
and in order for, well, maybe I suck at it, but I'll do better next week. In order for us to grow, we need to see if we are supported. I believe that the atheist, the secular community is massive out there, way massive than we could even dream. We say 10% and 15%. I say bullshit. I say over 50%. That's my opinion. So show your support, and how can you do that? Well, I'll tell you. We become a patron of secular TV. That would be the number one thing you can do. You could become a monthly donor or a one-time. Or donate a one-time amount. Show your support even by commenting or making suggestions. Any way you can to show us, to demonstrate to us that what we are doing is appreciated and is actually being seen by the audience that we're trying to reach. It's always good to get feedback about that. Having said that, that was my shot. Back, Randy, you can sort of fill in the gaps.
So that was pretty good. Generally, I start off with this kind of basic preset that the goal of secular TV is to be a platform, a springboard for producers in creating quality content. We look for new voices primarily. We also look for medium, big name voices because we found that they're some of the most fantastic advisors to have for new voices. But we focus on finding new secular-minded voices, people who are maybe interested in making content, never thought about making a show before, but they've become recently interested in it. We want to find those people, help them, show them all the basics to get in here, start making shows, start making content. We want to teach them basic image editing, video editing, sound editing, advertising, how to manage their channel, how to manage their other social media. We have a ton of people to give them tips about every aspect of what it is we do. And so we want to be not just a platform, a springboard for producers, but a resource for them, especially newer ones. There's not enough secular-minded voices out there speaking out at the end of the day. And we know they're out there, and we know some of them are interested. And so we want to reach out to them, find them, and help, fluff the ranks, as it were, and I think we desperately need that. We desperately need the varying opinions, and that was the other part of secular TV's goal, is diversity. We have shows done by feminist and non-feminist and MRAs. We have shows by pro-life, pro-choice, and people who don't seem to have made a strong decision yet. We have people from basically all over the damn map. And I very much enjoyed that. We also have people from different, races or ethnicities. We have people from different religious backgrounds. We still have one person attached to the network who believes in multiple gods, but he's a secular-minded believer. We don't get along all the time. We don't always agree, but at the end of the day, we try to foster an environment where we can say what we think. We don't get butthurt about it, and when we're done with that discussion, we walk away as friends. And we leave that discussion where it's at.
Yes, exactly. Well,
I think 20 years from now, you guys are going to be like, pitching your pitch and offering free, tote bags for $50 donations or something. like
with
PBS.
inflation, it'll probably be up to about $500.
Yeah.
I have no shame about becoming like PBS. PBS has been running for a long damn
I
time.
know. I actually donate to PBS since many years. So.
And they're not this kind of network where they make all kinds of money, but they have stayed publicly funded from beginning to end, and that's what's kept them from going the way of, say, what was the Learning Channel, which went from documentaries and history and science to Honey Fucking Boo Boo. So yeah, that's what has protected PBS from going that route, is that they're publicly funded. Secular TV's goal to be a non-profit, that the network itself is not trying to profit. I mean, look, if I sell Foxhole shirts and I make money as Foxhole Atheist, that's not the network's money. That's my money. Those are my shirts. If Sid sells T-shirts, he keeps 100% of his profits. If he comes and buys a sponsor for his show tomorrow that pays him $50,000, $100,000 an episode, that's his money. We don't get a cut of that. That's his money. The network is not trying to profit, and I think that's one of the. It does have goals. It does have financial needs, but those financial needs are met through public funding, through Patreon, through PayPal donations. And so I think that's, at the end of the day, that kind of PBS-style model is what's going to keep us alive and keep secular TV, a thing that's going to be around for a very, very long time, long after me.
Bravo.
Yeah.
But I still think you guys should have tote bags and coffee mugs.
All in good time.
Sid has the only black secular TV coffee mug in existence.
Oh, you got to show it to us, man.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Nice.
Cannot get that anymore. The place we had it made stopped selling the mugs in black right after Sid bought that. He's the only person that got one in black.
Yeah, as soon as it came out, I ordered, I got it, and then I was told that there are no others. This is actually a one-of-a-kind item.
It is a one-of-a-kind item.
It's a collector's item, and it might actually be featured as a reward or a show of gratitude for a particular patron, maybe one day.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Sid. I'll send you my address.
At a particular level.
I'd like to make a request, because I'd like to not see it get sold away, honestly.
Okay.
So I'd like it to be around. And so here's what I would say: keep that cup.
Okay.
And if you ever decide to, I don't know,
sell your soul.
If you're just hard up and you need to move or whatever it is, then
maybe a couple of bucks.
Give me the option to buy it from you first, or at the very least, will it to my children after you're, 20 years from now, after you decide to give up all your shit and start making a will.
I have a daughter though, so I'd have to put it there, because she'll automatically get everything.
All right.
You have a daughter? I had no idea.
I didn't know that either, actually. That's why
how old is
it?
Oh, okay. I have a daughter. She's been married, 3-4 years now. She's 30. She'll be 32 at the end of this year.
She's my age. I'm 33.
Exactly. I'm not
you really are. I think we have a new nickname for you. It's Gramps.
Gramps. There you go.
Yeah.
But I'm not a real Gramps yet.
Grandpa Sid.
I'm just a Gramps to you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you this. Regardless of his positions on individual issues, whether you agree with him or not, Sid has been very, very helpful. Had a hell of a lot of very wise advice since we started this. He's the scheduling manager at Secular TV. He is one of the first people that took over a subcategory of job at Secular TV and just completely took over. Like, this is my shop, this is my house, I own this, I run it. He does it fucking well, and so
good job.
Absolutely appreciate it, Sid. You're an ass kicker, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, cheers, man. Oh, that's nice to hear. I'm humbled.
Well, I'm gonna run around. I'm gonna run along, guys. It was good.
Okay, well,
talking to you.
Before you run, Bunto, if you like to plug anything or say anything.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just doing my usual thing. This is my interviews and hangouts, but nothing on the horizon right now.
Okay. Will you come back next week?
Going into hangouts and talking up Israel.
Will you come back next week?
Oh yeah, sure. I'd love to. Thanks for inviting me.
Excellent. No, I'd love to see you.
All right.
Anyway,
take care, y'all.
Yeah, take care. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you next week. Hey, there he goes.
We lost Pimp Monk too.
Oh dear. I was going to give him a shot at having something to say. Nathaniel?
Yeah?
It's almost bedtime for you.
No.
Yes, it is. We are watching.
No,
you.
it's not even midnight yet, and it's the weekend for me, so no. It's not bedtime for me.
Why,
yet.
what is today? Oh, Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
All right, is there anything you'd like to plug? Anything you'd like to explain, elaborate? Anything? Would you like to plug
I'm not
polar
sure I
bears?
want more. No, I'm not sure I want more hate comments.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I think if you become pro polar bear in the comment section or something, or even now, they'll warm to you.
I don't rely on fucking humans. What can I say? They all suck.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, are you coming back next week?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
are you going to remember? Last time you had a whole thing. I'll make a big thing in my calendar, and you did it, and then today I forgot.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't say I put it in my calendar last time. I said
Not
it
that.
before last time.
You set it into your phone, and it sort of reminded you.
Yeah, it did, but I didn't remember to do it last time. So this time I forgot. Yeah.
So technology fucking fails again.
No, I just need to set a repeat reminder. I just forgot to do that. It's my fault. It's not the phone's fault.
All right. Well, then you are punished by having to come back next week.
I'll try.
Okay. Well, that's good enough.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me. I'm not asking you to leave.
This is like 4 in a row for me. So.
I'm not asking you to leave right now. I'm just asking you, just confirming your appearance for next week.
Yeah, no, I should be here. Unless something happens or I have to go out or something.
Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. I'll arrange it with the security service.
Yeah.
I mean, Damien, what's happening today? What you doing?
Oh, no idea. Day's still young. It's not even 7 a.m. yet.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even 7. It's winter there, though, right?
Yes, it is.
What's the weather like today?
But earlier this week, I was actually wearing shorts for a couple of days. Yet we're in the middle of winter, and I think I'm going to be again this weekend.
Oh, very cool, very cool, very cool.
It's almost this weekend is almost going to be summer weather. It's going to be that warm.
Wow.
Okay, so you got anything to plug? Anything coming up? Any ideas for shows? Any ideas for co-hosts you want for shows? Anything?
No, not at this stage.
Right.
I finally made another video and uploaded it last weekend. I possibly might be doing another one this weekend. I'm not 100% sure. It might, if I do, it might be a multi-issue one. There's several issues.
Good.
That I've got on my mind.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing any of your videos because you put them together well. They're well thought out and well received.
Yeah, I've tried to take a different take on my videos. I'm doing instead of writing a script or anything like that, I'm just doing a one take per comment type thing, which is the aim is to be the first thing into my head instead of sitting there thinking.
Right.
This is me
Okay.
raw, basically. So
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. Randy, my friend.
I've got something actually. So I've got a new video coming up. It's going to be a guest video on Pimp Monk's channel. Pimp Monk has like 8,000 or 9,000 subscribers, so that's kind of a big deal for me. Easily like 1,800. So I thought that was, it's going to be a cool video. The people keep an eye out for that, I guess. That's all I got.
I'll double plug it because if it was the one I had a little bit of a preview of, it's going to be a good one.
Excellent. Okay. We are going to We're going to end the show right here. I have an outro that I think I'm going to play this time without any technical difficulties. I'm going to hit it in just a moment. I just want to thank everybody for watching. We'd appreciate if anybody, because of the show, becomes a new patron. Thank you very much. This has been Reason Speak for Thursday, the 30th of July, 2015. Thank you so much for watching. I'm trying to get this this outro going without any technical difficulties whatsoever. Hopefully we'll see you next week.